Ladies and gentlemen, Elvis is in the building. Elvis is in the building. Elvis is in the building.
The king lives, ladies and gentlemen. The king lives. I had to hitch up my belt. The king's a little bigger than me. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome to the show, everybody. You know, it's been 15 years since the real king played his final performance, passing into rock and roll heaven, as you know, on August the 16th, 1977. But if anything, Elvis is more alive today than ever. And we've done our share of hard-hitting investigative work on how and why Elvis Presley died, but today we celebrate his life. And keeping the king alive has become big business for my studio guests today. They're just a fraction, a tiny fraction of the estimated 5,000 Elvis impersonators working professionally throughout the world. Men, women, even children from all races, creeds, religions, ethnic groups, all walks of life who live and earn their livelihood by paying tribute to the boy from Tupelo, Mississippi. Okay, so we'll introduce them in series, and we're going to have nothing but action-packed performances all day long today. Ladies and gentlemen, meet a 30-year-old security alarm installer and Elvis impersonator, Russ Howe. Come on out, Russ. Representing the soul side of Elvis, the Black Elvis himself, Clarence Giddens. Clarence Giddens, the Black Elvis. From Brooklyn, New York, the littlest Elvis, 9-year-old Paul Campione, the littlest Elvis. From the youngest to the oldest, meet 51-year-old mobile home and real estate salesman Dave Atkins. Come on out, Dave. Oh, hey, what do you do? A doctor by day, Elvis by night. Meet the Indian Elvis, Nazar Sayed. Nazar Sayed. Yes. Meet Joe Elvis Torino. Come on out, Joe. Oh, looking good there, Joe. Meet a 27-year-old Turkish cop, Elvis Attila Bertgil. Attila. Oh, yes, yes. Elvis Attila. This next performer traded in his baby booties for a pair of blue suede shoes. The 12-year-old Elvis, Jeffrey Marn. Hey, Jeffrey. Our next Elvis claims that if you close your eyes, you swear you're hearing Elvis himself. Arnell Pump. Come on out, Arnell. Hey, Elvis. Elvis Arnell. Our next impersonator is the 90s version of Elvis, 26-year-old John Beardsley. Come on out, John. Yes, 90s Elvis. Our next guest is an all-around entertainer who also does a comedy act. Here's Mike Memphis Elvis. Come on out, Mike. Yes. The winner of many competitions, including the International Elvis Contest, here to kick off our performances. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Elvis Kevin Mills. Come on out, Kevin. Oh, the young Elvis. Woo. All right.
1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 get ready now, go, can't go, where don't you? 7 my blue suede shoes. Hey, doing that thing, let go for my blue suede shoes. Yeah! Hey, come knocking me down, step on my face, slamming my name all over the place. Do anything that you want to do. Hardly over them shoes, and don't you tell my saddle shoes. You can do anything to lay home for my blue suede shoes. Yeah, let's go. Sit in my car, drinking my liquor from an old fruit jar, doing the thing that you want to do. Honey, all of them shoes, and don't you step on my blue suede shoes. Hey, you doing the thing, lay hold for my blue suede shoes. Yeah.
All right. Kevin Mills, the young Elvis. Kevin Mills. Way to go. All right. All right, let's talk first to Vegas-era Elvis, Mike Memphis. How'd you choose the Vegas era, Mike?
Well, I was 13 years old, and I had seen Elvis on the cover of the Star, and I was always a chubby kid. And I says, you know, Ma, now that he got older and heavier, because I was so chubby, I says, you know, he kind of looks like me. So, and I like the contemporary songs that he did much better than the 50s, so that's what chose me to do the Vegas years.
Well, are you bummed out that the young Elvis stamp got approved?
I'm just glad that an Elvis stamp got approved. I don't care what era it was.
So, in your case, Mike, are you a full-time Elvis impersonator?
Full-time for the past 12 years, since I was 16. I'm 28 now.
How about that? How about that? Yeah. Now, Attila, you're a New York City cop, right?
Yes, sir, 7 years.
7 years on the job. Do you ever do Elvis on the police radio?
Yeah, thank you very much, you know, and pull over people, license, registration, insurance card, all the pretty girls, you know.
So why do you do Elvis, Attila?
I do it because he's the greatest entertainer of all time, you know, and leave the legacy on. You know.
Are you an entertainer?
No, I just do it at the police dinners and balls and, you know, charity.
And what do your colleagues think of it?
I think it's great, you know, always talking Elvis. Yeah, thank you.
Do you ever get confused in your own mind who's Attila and who's Elvis?
Attila Elvis, you know. Sometimes Kurt Russell, you know. They say that.
He could do Kurt Russell, right? Yeah, he could. Now, Paul, how old are you?
I'm 9 years old.
9 years old. So what do you know about Elvis?
Excuse me?
What do you know about Elvis?
He was kind, generous,
So,
and he was a great singer.
are you a singer?
Yeah.
Do you wish to be like Elvis when you get a little older?
Yes.
Does it help you get girlfriends? Help you get girlfriends? And Dave, in that Vegas period, you can see your Cadillac medallion there.
Yeah, I have a Cadillac. I have a stretch limo. I just got a stretch limo down in Florida. I play all over. I was in Florida playing, and I was out jogging, getting in shape, and I ran into a limo out in the street, and I asked a guy if he wanted to sell it, and so I found a place to buy one. And I'm starting to travel all over. We're setting up a tour for Europe. I'm working with people in Nashville, play concerts, fairs.
Now, you have almost a mystical connection with Elvis. I mean, do you believe that?
Well, it's kind of weird because his life and my life are pretty much parallel. I was an electrician. He started out being an electrician. My favorite football game was the Pittsburgh Steelers. I just got back from Memphis. That's why I know about Elvis's personal life. His football game, his favorite game was the Pittsburgh Steelers. He liked to shoot pool. He was not a pool hustler, but he was a good shot. And I like to shoot pool. So it's weird. And I've been in the music business probably over 20 years. And my whole career was, you sound too much like Elvis. I lived in Nashville, and now we're doing Elvis, and it's great to be doing it and a tribute to the king. It's really something.
So do you think of Elvis as kind of like an older brother?
Yeah, I grew up with him. I grew up down with I remember when I was a kid growing up, putting my ear in the stereo and singing with him. And it's been my whole life. And when he died, it was one of the saddest days of my whole life.
Yeah, I remember it well. So, John, what do your girlfriends think of you and Elvis?
This is my girlfriends? Well, I only have one right now. And she's into it. She enjoys it.
She likes you being Elvis?
Yeah. Yeah.
She doesn't say, you know, be yourself, son, wake up?
She hasn't yet. But I've been able to do other things besides doing Elvis, which helps me draw the line and know when it's time to do Elvis and when it's not, when to be myself.
So who's going to be our next performer? Jeffrey, you're going to be the next performer. Okay, here's Jeffrey. Jeffrey Martin is 12 years old, and he's been doing Elvis since he was 9 years old. What are you going to do? What number?
Big Hunk of Love.
Big Hunk of Love, okay. I thought Jailhouse Rock was your favorite. All right, here's Jeffrey Mon, the 12-year-old Elvis. Yes, have a question? Hi.
Hi, I have a suggestion. I think the whole herd of Elvises should get together and have a seance and see if they can conjure up the real Elvis.
Nazar, you're a doctor?
Yes, sir, I am.
So what do your patients say about your fascination with Elvis?
Well, I don't really involve my entertainment part of my life with my medicine. It's completely two separate things.
So, were you born in Jordan, or...?
I was born in Yonkers, New York.
Oh, Yonkers, New York.
My family's from Jordan.
They're from Jordan, but they're actually of Indian descent.
No, Jordanian.
No, Jordanian, oh, okay. Oh, we got that straight.
Yeah, thank God. I mean,
so
they've
what
been
is
calling me Indian.
why Elvis? How did you relate to Elvis?
Honestly, I was never really an Elvis Presley fan until the early 70s. I was always the big era, the Glenn Miller and the Gene Krupa type of music I always liked. When I got to hear the Elvis Presley type of music and I understood what the words were all about and the feeling behind the music, I started to enjoy it.
I'd just like to say that I think his show's one of the best shows on the air.
Oh, thank you, Tony.
And the question I have for these gentlemen is, do any of you think Elvis is still alive?
I don't.
Anybody? No?
No.
The guy over there thinks he's still alive.
Yeah, I have a question for Till up there. You've been doing this for charitable, for police balls and everything. Do you ever think of going into this professionally?
I can't do that, you know.
Why not, Tilla?
I think it's more of a charity. I don't want to make money off it, you know. I make enough with the police, I guess. Yeah.
For the two younger kids, does being Elvis affect your schoolwork?
Not for me, it doesn't. Sometimes they may have to miss a couple days of school or something, but my teachers feel as long as I stay up and keep up with my homework, they don't really care as long as I be a good student.
Let me ask Clarence here. What kind of vibes do you get being the Black Elvis?
Well, man, I tell you, it's been real good. The last couple of years, when I started out, it was unreal, you know.
What does unreal mean?
Well, they kept saying, "What is a Black Elvis?" You know, and then they got to see the show. They say, "Okay, we can deal with it. It's happening."
Well, Elvis was one of the first people to recognize the importance of R&B, the black roots to his music.
That's right.
Okay, we have several men up here impersonating Elvis, and we have a black, and we have kids. I was wondering if there's any women who impersonate Elvis.
Yes, there is. Actually, isn't there someone in my audience who's actually Elvis Presley, a female Elvis? Is she? Oh, wait. I'd like you to meet this person. This is the real Elvis Presley. Her name formerly was Lily Mae Painter. Lily Mae Painter had her name legally changed?
Legally changed in 1981 to Elvis Aaron Presley. And my married name is Painter.
Elvis Aaron Presley Painter?
Elvis Aaron Presley Painter. That's a mouthful, folks.
Is this your husband?
No. My
oh, you had a check.
My husband wasn't even able to make the trip up here with me, and I got to look around. Oh, brother, how mixed up can you get?
So, when people call you Elvis, I mean, that's okay, or you have any children?
I have a son by a previous marriage that came with me today, and I'm sure of who he is.
Is he here?
Yes, his name is Daryl Johnson.
So how does Daryl like calling Elvis Mom?
Oh, he was all for it at the time, and so was my husband.
Now, why would you do something like that, really?
Obsession. Folks don't ever get this obsessed as I got with Elvis Presley. Please don't carry it that far. I mean, this man ruled my entire life. It was approaching the 4th anniversary of his death in the same month that it is right now. And one day he was Elvis Presley, and the next day he was my idol. I mean, he was my God. He was my king. And 8 and 10 hours of music, I didn't want to turn him off and go to bed at night. On my job as a nurse's aide where I worked, I had him on my mind while I was performing my duties. I just really, really went completely overboard. Now, I too
how can you say that, Elvis?
Oh, come on, Geraldo. but you know, the Lord delivered me from him, and I praise the Lord for that.
Are you going to rechange your name?
Well, the Lord and I have talked this over.
Well, you and the Lord talk it over for about the next half hour. Let us know at the end of the show.
Don't you make light of me. Don't you make light of me. I'm dead serious, Geraldo. Please, don't make light of me. I mean, these gentlemen do a fine job of imitating Elvis. I'm not here to imitate anyone. I'm just here to say that, that I love his memory. I'll always have a soft spot for him. But I did carry it too far. I mean, it's one thing to appreciate the memory of someone and love the memory of someone, and it's quite another thing to go to be totally obsessed and let them rule your life.
You let us know at the end of the show whether you're going to change your name. Don't have to give me no hasty decisions.
Let's just. The damage has been done. I'll keep it.
Okay. All right. Hey. Russell. Come on, Russell, give us a little show here. We're dying to hear our next Elvis performer. This is Russ Howe. Russ is the security alarm installer. He's been doing Elvis since 1982. Here he is, Russ Howe, Elvis.
Through train, took her around close to the Subway Queen. I was on that midnight flight around to Birmingham, smoking in the New Orleans. Somebody help me get out of Louisiana, just help me get to Houston town. There are people there who care a little about me and won't let the poor boy die.
Elvis Mania, the king, lives on 15 years later. The focus of this edition of Geraldo.
Thank you.
Well done. Yes.
Yes, I wanted to know how the ladies react to the Elvis impersonators. Do they give you more attention because you're impersonating Elvis, or not?
Arnell, tell us how the ladies react to you.
They react real good. You just get out there and move just a little bit. They like it.
I was wondering if you've lost your self-identity becoming so involved and so, like, obsessed with Elvis.
No, I never lost my identity at all. I mean, never.
Well, couldn't you? I mean, come on. You look in the mirror, you don't get mixed up?
Well, I mean, as for obsession, the furthest I've gone is getting both my arms tattooed as a tribute to Elvis.
Oh, let's see. Can you...
Well, yeah, I'll be doing that later on. I'll be
Are you going to show us? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I'd like to know if any of the older guys... Yeah, I'd like to know if any of the older guys ever met Elvis when Elvis was still alive.
No, I don't think anyone on the panel ever actually met the king of rock and roll.
I would like to know how much you pay for your outfits.
Oh, that's a good one. Good practical question. Let's start with Joe there.
You don't want to know.
We want to know. We want to know.
They're a lot of money, believe me. Probably more than they're worth.
Well, how much? Like 5,000, 2,000, 500?
This cake alone is 1,100.
Maybe that's why Kevin does the young Elvis. His outfit's cheaper.
This is for the black Elvis. I was wondering, like, how do your audience react to you? Do you get good feedback, or and who goes?
What do you think? What are you curious?
No, I'm wondering who goes. You know, who's in your audience? Is it a mixed or crowd, or?
Well, it started out was all white crowd. Now, over the years, it's a mixed crowd now. It's looking good.
I have a question for the 9-year-old boy. I know girls may go for you. What's his name, Paul? Paul? But how about the boys in your class? Do they, like, ridicule you and make fun of you being you are an Elvis impersonator?
They think it's cool that I do it.
I want to ask John, what do you mean by the 90s Elvis? What is that, kind of the yuppie Elvis?
No, that's it's something I've done in my shows where I include a few songs of today's pop hits from the 80s and 90s that I've done, how I feel Elvis would have done them.
I think that you're definitely the hairiest Elvis. Joe's covering up. What's the Aloha years? I mean, when Elvis was doing the Hawaii movies, Joe, is that what you're referring to?
Well, I portray the Vegas years, really. I feel that the way I look is that type of appearance.
And Attila, you'd say you're 50s, 1960. Where are you?
I'm postage stamp Elvis.
You want to perform for us? Okay. Very special treat. Here is Attila Bartigia, New York City Cop.
Oh, well, bless my soul, what's wrong with me? I'm itching like a man on a fuzzy tree. My friends say I'm acting wet as a bug. I'm in love. I'm all sugar. Hey, yeah. Oh, please don't ask me what's on my mind. I'm a little mixed up, but I'm feeling fine. When I'm with that girl that I love best, my heart beats so it scares me to death as you touch my hand. Oh, the chill I got, my lips are like a volcano that's hot. I'm proud to say that she's my buttercup. I'm in love. I'm all sugar.
Attila Bartigia, the New York City Police Elvis. We'll be right back. Elvis Mania. Yeah.
Well, I'm just some information. Get me made for Tennessee. Help me find a party. Try to get in touch with me. Should not leave her alone. took the message and he wrote it on the wall. Oh yeah, baby. Long distance information, get in touch with my Louise. She's the only girl who called me here from Memphis, Tennessee. Always on the south side, so high up on the ridge. It's just a half a mile from the Mississippi Bridge. Oh yeah, baby. Now long distance information, get in touch with my Louise.
Oh, Mike, the biggest here. Thank you, Mike. Hey. Thank you, Mike. Okay.
All right. I like to say to the guy in red, right?
The black Elvis.
Yeah, the black.
Clarence.
I think that it's very disrespectful for you to be as a black man. You're supposed to represent us, running around trying to be somebody you could never be.
Clarence, wait, hold it.
Because Elvis deals a lot with black people, and he's very good.
I would like to know, do a lot of people say just let him rest in peace and leave him alone?
Let's deal with this question that's on this race thing. All right, Clarence, you want to deal with it, and then I will let hear from Russ.
What folks got to understand that music don't have a color to it, you know.
I'd just like to say I think the Black Elvis, or Elvis in Red, you sound like one of the best Elvises there, your impersonation. And I'd like to know what kind of voice lessons you had. And is that your real voice when you're talking? Because you really talk like him as well.
It's just me. It's no fake. I'm not trying to be Elvis Presley. I'm just here doing, you know.
And if I could also point out to this gentleman in the back that Elvis used to listen to gospel music, and he's also, in effect, part black because he did listen to gospel, and his musical background is from the black heritage.
That's correct. That's correct.
I think this gentleman back here has a right to his opinion, but I think we don't have time. Life is too short to worry about all this race issues. Let's just have some fun. Elvis is fun. Let's have fun.
Just to get off the subject for a moment, I have a question for all the gentlemen up there. When you go up touring, do you have your own band, your own set of background singers when you go touring throughout the country?
Yeah, my own band.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Russ, you have your own band?
Yeah, we do. Get a 6-piece band and get 3 backup singers, and yeah. And as far as the comment before, I think Elvis's music reached so many type of people. I don't care if you're black, white, yellow. What he's doing is beautiful.
You know, this Elvis Mania thing has gotten so crazy that our director, Jim Bob, is back there wearing an actual Elvis cape designed for Elvis. That's him. Designed for Elvis by Muhammad Ali. This is a true story. I think it is, Jim Bob. Let's see. Do a couple of takes there, Jim Bob.
Okay.
That's enough. That's as articulate as he ever gets anyway.
Give me mama's drink. Will you, Daddy?
All right, sit down, Jim Bob. That's it.
My question is for the children who are impersonating Elvis. First of all, I think they're adorable. And I'm wondering, how did they get involved? Were their parents big Elvis fans? I think of my generation and your generation. Obviously, you weren't alive when Elvis was alive and popular. I think of kids imitating Madonna, Michael Jackson. How did you get involved in it?
Well, one day my mother played a record of Elvis, and I asked her, could I see a picture of him? And she showed me, and I said, one day when I grow up, I want to be like him.
I just want to know, after modeling so much of your lives after one person, what side of yourself do you draw for your self-esteem? Is it your real personality, or is it your Elvis side?
Well, do you want to try it, Joe?
Yeah, this is, people don't understand, this is really, for a lot of us, it's a hobby, but it's also an act. None of us, I'm sure, are trying to be Elvis Presley. but we're all big Elvis fans, and we all know each other, so we know about each other. And we're just trying to keep his memory alive. So it's two entities, two different entities.
I told you earlier that Arnell Pump's billing is, if you close your eyes, you'll think it's the real thing. Arnell Pump, one of the biggest Elvisers.
Only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. Shall I say? Would it be a sin if I can help falling in love with you?
Arnell Pump. Arnell, a painter from Ohio. Well done, Arnell. We'll be right back.
Oh, see, right. Oh, see, what you end up. I said, see, right. Oh, see, what you end up. Okay, baby, while you wait on your belly drum. Hey, what I say? Well, I'm going away, baby. And I won't be back till fall. Go away, baby, and I won't go back to fall. But if I find you, what I say? I said, see you right. Oh, see you.
Ladies and gentlemen. The Aloha Elvis. Thank you, Joe. You know, I mentioned before that Jim Bob, our director, was wearing that cape designed for Elvis by Muhammad Ali. Here's a little picture. It came to us courtesy of the cape and the picture, courtesy of the Hard Rock Cafe right down the street from us here in West 57th Street in New York. So we thank the Hard Rock for that. Jim Bob never looked better. Come on, stand up. This is Ed Franklin. Ed was an Elvis veteran for many years. He also runs an international Elvis contest. Now, Ed, what kind of people try out in the Elvis contest?
Oh, we have hundreds of them enter each year in the contest. We've conducted this on an organized basis for about the last 5 or 6 years. We did it for many years before that. We had Elvis impersonators at Bad Bob's back in the early 1970s.
But where do they come from around the planet?
We have guys come from Australia, Japan, Europe is very heavy, Canada, and of course all over the United States.
So yeah, you have Oriental Elvises, black Elvises, every kind of race Elvis, no problem.
Male, female singers, and we've had every type of Elvis there is in the world.
How about that? Thanks, Ed. I want to remind you that we're going to do a vote. We're going to do a vote in our studio audience on who the 200-odd people gathered here feel is the most authentic Elvis. Right now, John, where's John? John, come on, John, get up there. John's going to do a little number for us here. Okay, John, do your thing.
There must be lights burning brighter somewhere. Got to be birds flying higher in a sky more blue. If I can dream of a better land where all my brothers walk hand in hand, tell me why, why can't my dream come true? Oh, why? There must be kiss that will blow away the doubt and fear. If I can dream of a warmer sun where hope...
John Beardsley, ladies and gentlemen, John Beardsley. Remember our vote for the best Elvis. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Sitting home all alone, and you can't come around. At least it's still a thought. Don't be cruel to the heart that's true. Baby, it'll make you mad, or something I might have said. Well, let's forget the fact. You look right ahead. Don't be cruel to the heart that's true. I don't want no other love, baby, it's just you I'm thinking about. We'll walk back to the preacher.
Okay, Dave, way to go, Dave. Way to go, Dave. Dave Atkins. Who tells us that he feels Elvis is like his older brother. Yes, ma'am.
I was wondering if any of them were married and if they stay in character when they're in bed with their wives or girlfriends.
Mike, do you stay in character when you're in bed with... you married, first of all?
Well, no, thank God. Never even came close. I have a steady girl that, you know, I've been seeing for about 5 years, Louise, and I love her, but I don't get... I mean, well, this is how I look. This is real hair and real sideburns, so, yeah, I look like this in bed, darling. It's all real.
Go ahead, Russ.
I'm married, and the most important thing you have to remember is when you leave the stage, you leave that up on the stage with you.
Well, we've got 2 more Elvises here. Stand up here. We got a couple more Elvises. Come on in and stand up there, champ. You guys just, you don't sing?
Yes, I do. I do.
You do that too, huh?
Professional also.
You guys could sing in the commercial breaks here. Right?
I already did.
All right, good.
Warm up
Thank you. You're Laura. Yes, sir.
I just want to say that I think most of the Elvises are themselves when they're out of costume. They're just trying to bring back memories and keep Elvis's memory alive. And it's people like this that keep on keeping it alive.
I remember doing a story about people like Mrs. Presley. What's your other name? Told us about how she became obsessed with Elvis. I remember doing a story with people where the fear was they'd kill themselves at the age of 42. That they take drugs because Elvis did all kinds of silly things because obsession can really get out of hand. I mean, you all seem healthy, thank goodness. I want you to meet Sharon Squibb, the editor of a book called Elvis for President. Here, I'm going to get my mom's here in the audience. Thanks. Copy of Sharon's book, By the Committee to Elect the King. That's cute. Now, you know, with all due respect to Elvis, he is dead. Isn't that difficult?
I would like to ask the other candidates to prove that they are alive. What have they done lately?
So, how's it selling? It's a cute story?
It's doing very well, actually. It's.
Are you fed up with Bush, Clinton, Perot, and the rest of the dismal pack of candidates? Well,
Yes,
pick Elvis for president.
That's why we chose to write the book.
It says, read his hips. Cute. Okay, and now we go to our youngest Elvis. Come on, Paul Chapone. Come on. From Brooklyn, New York. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is the moment we've all been waiting for with our custom Geraldo applausometer. Our studio audience gathered here at the Broadcast Center will now select the #1 in their minds Elvis impersonator. Okay, so Jim Bob, you have the applause-o-meter set up. Our first Elvis, you remember, was Kevin Mills, the young Elvis. Kevin Mills. There's the applause-o-meter. Kevin looked pretty good. Next, 12-year-old Jeffrey Marn, the young Elvis. Okay. The black Elvis, Clarence Giddens. Clarence surges into the lead. The Vegas Elvis, Russ Howe, Russ Howe. Dr. Nazar's left the building. The young Elvis policeman, Attila Barnegill. Attila Barnegill. Go to our back row now. Another Vegas Elvis from Brooklyn, New York, Mike Memphis. Mike Memphis. The house painter from Ohio, Arnell Pump. Arnell. The Chicago trucker for the Aloha years, Joe Torito. The 90s Elvis, John Beardsley. The Pennsylvania real estate man, Dave Atkins. The youngest Elvis, Paul Capone. Paul Capone. The winner, beyond a doubt, of Black Elvis, Clarence Giddens. Clarence Giddens. Thank you. All right, Clarence, first of all, congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations, you did a great job out there. This is an Elvis grab bag provided by Little Ricky's. That's a present for you. And also, one of the Elvis fans give you this hamburger from White Castle, because Elvis loved hamburgers from White Castle. So, Clarence, you keep on rocking out. All right.